Now, the second thing that the church can do to help parents raise your children to follow Jesus is that we can provide a place here for your children to build friendships with other kids. Now, I know that doesn't always work. I mean, sometimes your kid just doesn't fit with the age group that they come to because they're different or they like different things, and sometimes it doesn't work. Or you bring a youth along to join the youth group and they just can't break into that friendship group that is their age group, and that happens. However, I think for many of us, when we bring our children along to church on a regular basis, we give our kids a great opportunity to build friendships with other kids of their age, so that as they travel through the school system, they're not travelling alone by themselves as a Christian. They've got these other Christian friends that they can travel with through primary school, intermediate school, and into the youth group. And I know that for Diane and I, we were so grateful to the churches that we had been in, so that our three girls were able to come to church, build friendships with other kids in the church, and then when they went to the school, whether it's intermediate, especially in Glenfield College, when the three girls went to Glenfield College on the North Shore, I mean, at times they didn't have too many other Christian friends around, but we had such a fantastic youth group that our kids couldn't help but bring their non-Christian friends along to the youth group. And numbers of them actually became Christians, and they're still friends with them today, and they're still going on with the Lord today, even though they're married and having kids now themselves. You know, it's really hard for kids travelling by themselves through the school system if they don't have other Christian friends around. And the way you build a lot of your Christian friends is actually being committed into a church family where you build those friendships with other kids. There was one of the guys from Parenting Incorporated who recently wrote an article about what they were finding, that if parents only come to church regularly, they come to church when it suits them, they are giving a message, and they're finding this now, that the message that they're giving to their kids is, you come to church when it suits you. So as soon as the kids get now to intermediate age, the kids are saying to mum and dad, we will go to youth group or to church when it suits us. And if you only come to church with your kids on a regular basis, you actually make it very difficult for your children to actually find friendships and build friendships amongst the children in the church. So I just want to encourage you to realise that this is a great way in which the church can back up your children and help you raise your children to follow Jesus. It's to be part of the church and where they can build friendships. And the third thing that the church can do to help you as a parent to bring up your children to love Jesus is for you to be part of the whole church family, the community of God here. When Tammy Tolman, this Australian lady, wrote, there is reassurance in traditions and things that become regular experiences for a family. They can be simple and seem insignificant at the time, but they're actually very important to a child's sense of security. And bringing your children on a regular basis to the church family and being part of the church family is one of those regular patterns. You can call it a tradition. You know, we tend to rubbish religious traditions. For children, those traditions and those patterns are actually important. Now, I was brought up in my mum and dad were not good Presbyterians and went to church. It was kind of a regular, actually, but their friends were church attenders as well. And so the culture that as children were brought up was a culture of Christian values, because we were in a circle, we were associating with people who had strong Christian values and were church attenders. That's important. When our three little girls, when we were in Morrinsville Baptist, in the second service, actually we got a couple, David and Beth Lee, who used to be part of our church in Morrinsville. They're going to be visiting us this morning. David and Beth, our three girls didn't like going to Little Lambs. They didn't like preschool stuff. They loved coming to church. You know why? Because Uncle David and Auntie Beth were there. And as soon as they headed in the doors, got in the doors of church, they'd look around for Auntie Beth and Uncle David, and they would sit on their knees, almost every Sunday. Dino was so grateful to for David and Beth. And they loved them. Still call them Uncle David and Auntie Beth. And that's the kind of thing that you can provide for your children. Is that it's not just building friends with their age group, it's building friends with uncles and aunties and, other people. It's like we're a community together. And your children have the opportunity of being brought up in a Christian community with Christian values and a Christian culture, and their hearts are far more open to the gospel down the track when they've been brought up in that environment. So parents, I just want to really encourage you. We need to be very intentional about being the people responsible for the spiritual well-being of our church, of our children. But we as a church want to try and I say try, we want to try and help encourage you in that role and to back you in it. Amen.